If you've been in the speedrunning community for a while, or in the gaming industry in general, you might have heard of a nifty little game called Celeste. With its modern take on a retro genre, this game is appealing to both casual and speed gamers alike, with its beautiful graphics, heartwarming story, and above all, its simplistic yet difficult gameplay. No wonder this game is a hit with speedrunners, as it is currently 5th in terms of player count on speedrun.com, followed only by Zelda and Mario, of course. But we have to pop the question, how come the developers of Celeste actually supported speedrunning while many others didn't? There isn't one definitive answer, it's more of a messy and complicated one. So let's all hop onto the magic school bus and dive deep into the realm of speedrunning to find an answer to this burning question.
Seatbelts, everyone! Please let this be a normal field trip with a friend? No way!
Now, you might be inclined into thinking that developers just don't care about speedrunners. I can assure you that that's not true at all. In an interview with Polygon, Kyle Pulver, a small indie developer, was asked if he ever thought about speedrunning during development, and his response was, quote, "A little bit." So no, most developers anyway don't forget about speedrunning when they develop a game. They actually quite like it. Back to Kyle Pulver for a sec. When asked what it's like when watching his game at a DDQ, he said, quote, "It's both terrifying and exciting at the same time." So yeah, most developers actually care a little about speedrunning, and that's a good thing if you didn't get the memo. But how come so few games actually have any official speedrunning resources? Well, I think it's due to a couple of factors. Let's first take a look at one of those factors, audience. I'm sorry if I upset some people here, but truth be told, speedrunners are not the most popular form of gamers. Actually, our community only represents a fraction of gamers worldwide. So why does this matter? Well, developers usually want to target a wide variety of people so they can hopefully turn a profit with their game. And it just doesn't make financial sense to only target the minority of players, unless it's a speedrun-oriented game, of course. It's just common sense. The time and cost to develop a feature for speedrunning just outweigh the benefits of a slightly increased player base, and in turn, a slightly increased profit. I'm pretty sure most of the time, the cost to add said speedrun feature is far greater than the expected revenue from speedrunners buying their game, and there's even a chance that speedrunners will avoid the game altogether if the core gameplay isn't good enough. So whenever a patch gets released for a major speed game, there are always critics in our community that complain when a major glitch used in speedrunning gets patched. But I can't blame the developers at all. After all, they are just there to make the game more enjoyable for the majority of players, even if a couple people get pissed off. Let's take an example from my favorite speed game in this shameless self-promotion, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. A couple of you might actually know this game well, but you might not know there's a small speedrunning community as well. Anyway, in an earlier version of the game, patch 1.06 to be precise, there was a glitch where Geralt would run really fast, faster than Roach actually. And that glitch is used to this day to speedrun the game. This category, which is aptly named any % old patch, saves roughly an hour compared to the normal any % category. But why isn't this glitch used in normal runs today? Well, as you might expect, this glitch was patched in version 1.07, so it can no longer be used in normal any % runs. But why? This glitch wasn't game breaking, but it did cause a problem for casual players just trying to beat the game. So, CD Projekt Red, the developers of the game, decided to patch this glitch and many others in an attempt to make the gameplay more enjoyable for all, at the expense of pissing off the non-existing speedrunning community at the time. And yeah, from a practical standpoint, this decision makes sense. So I have nothing against them patching this glitch. In the end, it made the game better for the majority of people, which is something I'm sure most of you would do, including myself. And finally, it's just important to remember that the decision to include speedrunning resources is in the devs' hands. They have final say whether a feature is implemented within their game, not you. Maybe it's best for a developer to not include speedrun resources into their game, because they don't feel like their game will benefit from that, and I respect that. Take a look at Super Mario 64 for a second. How come that game has been so successful in the speedrunning scene? Is it because the devs meticulously planned it out? No, not really. They never intended their game to be speedrun, mostly because speedrunning was non-existent in 1996. The reason why the game is so big today is not only due to the perfect balance of simplistic yet complicated gameplay, but also due to the community that sprung up when the game was released. They're the ones who took time out of their lives to closely examine the game and document exploits, most of which we still use today. So it might actually be a good thing that devs don't always support speedrunning, as it allows a community to spring around their game and collectively create resources for others to use. Yes, like many others, I would like for more devs to be aware of speedrunning, but that might not always mean that you're in for a better speed game. For a content-heavy game like Snapshot, where there's a bunch of levels and chapters, you have to play through the levels over and over again. You end up starting to speedrun your own game. Things that made my runs as a developer more fun, we leave in. We didn't plan on placing an object and jumping off it midair, but when we found out we could do that, it was really awesome. Speedrunning is something I consider a lot. I'm not as hardcore as the people at AGDQ, but I do like to run indie games sometimes or go back to Super Metroid. I think as an indie developer, I think about speedruns more than other developers. Kyle Pulver. Hi everyone, I just wanted to say thank you for watching my first video, and I hope you enjoyed. This video was months in the making, and I recently just got around to finishing it, and I'm still in shock that I actually finished it. Please tell me what you think in the comments below, and on Twitter, so I can improve my future videos for you guys. And on the subject of that, I do have a couple ideas for my next video, but I'd love to hear what suggestions you guys might have. So, as well as providing feedback, feel free to tell me any suggestions, I'm all ears. I'm really glad to be part of this awesome community, and I hope that I'll be able to produce some more awesome speedrun related content for you guys in the near future. Signing off for today, my name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one.